Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today is Sunday, October 29th, and I am going to share with you a meal that I'm cooking. Mainly what I'm going to focus on for you guys is the meatloaf. The menu today is meatloaf. I'm going to have pulled peas, purple pulled peas. Here you will see that I've already opened the bags. Called purple pulled peas. I have 3 bags here, but I think I'm going to add a can of black eyed peas to it because this may not be enough. This is 3 16-ounce bags, but I like to cook enough to have leftovers for the next day. Also, I'm going to be cooking the purple pulled peas in the crock pot. Now, these of course are frozen, so that means these are blanched. It's not going to take that long to cook them. But I like to slow cook certain things, and so my beans or peas is one of those things that I like to take my time to cook. I've already seasoned the water. Inside I have some crushed red pepper. Crushed red pepper. I also have some garlic pepper, some onion, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and I've also added this seasoning, which is some New Orleans style. Hey guys, sorry about that. I thought I had some New Orleans style seasoning, but I didn't want the seafood seasoning. Alright, so I'm just going to improvise, and I'm going to use some chicken bouillons. Probably will use 2 of these, and I'm going to put a little bit of ground turmeric in it. And I've seasoned the water with the meat that I'm using is turkey butts. And it is exactly what it says, turkey butts. And so that's in the crock pot now, waiting for it to simmer. I have preheated it, but it hasn't started simmering yet because I want to cook those turkey butts down just a little bit before I actually add the purple peas, because like I said, it's not going to take them that long to cook. And so I improvise in my cooking a lot. I don't always cook things exactly the same way. I like to try new things, new seasonings. So the fact that I didn't have the New Orleans seasoning is just cool, because all that is just some seasonings that are combined to make it, you know, what it is. So I just combine my own seasonings and I come up with whatever, okay? All right, now I have 2 48-ounce packages of ground turkey that I am defrosting. I also decided to add 2 additional tubes. These are 16 ounces each of ground turkey. I usually prefer to use the ground turkey like this because it's a little bit denser, but I'm going to use this to add to it because usually my meatloaf goes pretty fast. I enjoy meatloaf. Everyone in the household enjoys meatloaf, and sometimes my son will pop in, Mom, what you cooking? And so usually I'll give him some. My daughter, both my son and my daughter, even though they have their own place, it doesn't matter. They still eat here. And as a matter of fact, last Sunday everyone ate here for Sunday dinner. Okay, so I am, like I said, making meatloaf. I improvise on my meatloaf. Sometimes I switch the seasonings out, especially if I'm out of a certain ingredient. And so it so happens that today I don't have any tomato sauce. So I was looking through my cabinet last night, through the pantry, and I decided, I think I want to try some Dijon mustard in it, some whole grain Dijon mustard. So that's going to be one of the ingredients that I mix it with. I'm going to use some ketchup, of course. I'm going to use some eggs. I'm going to add some red pepper strips, but I'm probably going to puree them or cut them up. Using some seasoning salt. I'm going to use some Worcestershire sauce. I just recently showed this in my haul, my grocery haul. I'm also going to use some garlic powder, some ground black pepper, breadcrumbs. This is Italian style, but it doesn't matter. Breadcrumbs is breadcrumbs. I make my own breadcrumbs a lot of times, but I don't have the bread to do that today. I'm also going to use some cilantro. I don't have any fresh cilantro, but this will do in a pinch. Using some ground sage. And this I just happen to take out. I'm not using that. Now I have already, get this out of the way too. I've already cut my onions up. I cut them up last night. Onions and bell pepper. I cook with a lot of onions and peppers, and so that is one of the ingredients that I'm gonna use in my meatloaf. Also, guys, I am going to use some canned milk. So it's going to be canned milk, eggs, red peppers, whole grain Dijon mustard, seasoning salt, Worcestershire salt, garlic pepper, ground black pepper. Why do I keep saying garlic pepper? Garlic powder, ground black pepper, breadcrumbs, cilantro, and tomato, ketchup. I'm using 5 eggs in my meatloaf because, like I said, I am making a pretty large loaf. So I'm going to whisk the eggs up and then I'll show you the next step. As you can see, I've already added in the tube turkey, the ground turkey that was in the loaf. And I just wanted you to see what I was talking about in terms of the texture. This texture is not as dense, it's not as firm as the other ground turkey meat, and so therefore as a result you would have to use more breadcrumbs, and I don't want the majority of my meatloaf to be breadcrumbs. I want the majority of it to be actual meat. Okay guys, I've already chopped up the red sweet peppers, and so I'm getting ready to add this in with the other yummy goodness. Okay, and the only other extra ingredient that I decided to add was some ground red pepper. I like a little heat in my food, but I didn't overdo it. So that's it, getting ready to mix it and put it in the loaf pan so you guys can see it before I put it in the oven. I did want to make this quick comment. The initial part of me mixing this together, I'm using this silver spoon, this large silver spoon, because this stuff is cold. It's very, very cold, and my hands will freeze. So the initial part, especially this is a lot of meat here, I'm just going to mix it together using the spoon, kind of get it in there before I do the final step of mixing it together with my hands, because like I said, this is cold meat. Although it's defrosted, it's still cold. One other thing too, guys, I'm laughing at myself. I forgot to mention that I didn't have as much breadcrumbs as I thought, and so one of the things I did was to substitute by using some oatmeal. Oatmeal is another great binder that you can use in meats. This smells delicious, by the way, and one of the ways that you can kind of tell if something is well seasoned is by smelling it. Of course, I can't taste this. This is raw meat. I'm not going to taste it, but I can smell, after you've been cooking for a while, you can kind of tell by smells. You can tell sometimes by texture, and I'm one of those people that's a little old school. I don't do a lot of measure that better view. I realized that other little footage that I showed you was dark, and so you really couldn't see, but you can see the cilantro mixed in there, and I actually had to add some more red pepper, and I chopped up some more, I chopped up the garlic that the red peppers were marinating in the jar, so I just added that in there too. Okay, so the loaf pan that I've already prepared with some olive oil cooking spray. Gonna finish mixing this together, and then I'm gonna put it in the oven. Okay. Now I'm gonna put the pulled peas in this wonderful broth. Look at this broth, guys. Nice and piping hot. Look at that. This is some good stock right here. All right. Now, I didn't rinse these off. I didn't see the need to rinse these off. Sometimes you do just to get the extra water, but I think it's gonna be okay. So I'm just gonna pour these frozen pulled peas right in the crock pot. Okay guys, everything is completely done. We have the rice, which this is parboiled rice. This is the purple pulled peas that I cook in turkey butts, or seasoned with turkey butts. These are the candy yams that I told you about, that I basically just took out of the can and seasoned them the way that I normally do when I make homemade yams. Here's the cornbread that I made. And here's the meatloaf completely done. I also fixed some tomato gravy. Okay guys, here we go, the final results. This is the purple pulled peas. Here is the rice, candied yams, meatloaf with the tomato gravy, and cornbread. And this is what we're having for dinner. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't done so already, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification button so that you will be made aware of all of my new uploads. For all of my followers who have been watching all of my videos or supporting me, I just want you to know how much I greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you for the new viewers. And until next time, guys, peace and love.